what
80.
can Kevin Doots do in response?
Well, our colleague Chris Murphy has just come around and pointed out that Luke Humphries not only won a last leg decider with Brendan Dolan, but won it with a 12 darter and a 167 finish in that final leg. We saw Dobie hit a 170 and to win in a last leg decider against Hideki yesterday, go on and take the title. Luke Humphries has done something similar. Brendan on 101 for the match.
Must be something about that board.
Oh, and that's a last leg decider where Humphries did not have the darts and he's won it. He was on a run of 9 games. He'd lost all those last leg deciders. He hadn't had the darts in any of them. Didn't here again today, but managed to pull out something mad.
And considering the things that he went through before he made it big, he was losing a lot of games like that. But nowadays, after a streak of not winning games like that, he's broken it. Speaking of breaking, Littler almost broke Kevin Doots' heart right there with a 170 to finish it.
To the 18s. Double 7. Kevin Doots is not backing down, and Luke Littler, it's his turn to be taken to a last leg decider. He has the darts. Can he make it count? He has not been his brilliant best. He hasn't been for the last 2 days here in Leicester. But he is still so good that he can find ways to win.
137.
But how many visits is he going to be given? 4 visits will be enough from here.
34.
And he starts with two treble visits.
60.
Looked difficult. He didn't need to stay on the treble 20. He thought he could thread it through, and he wasn't able to. But Luke Littler.
There's a difference in the facial expression here of Littler.
80.
It is that look of urgency, as if to say, if I get this wrong, I could be out. I know he hasn't left a finish.
98.
But he's still got 6 from here.
Who's got the better setup shot? Littler has got a 40-point advantage.
60.
It's not great. They're all close, but he's on a 1 treble combo. Doots has got to pick up a treble. He's only got the 1. There is nothing between them.
Not even a coat of paint. Double 13.
93.
Now, what can Doots do in response to missing, well, to Luke Littler missing a match dart?
He's already taken a 142 checkout. This is easier. It's just got easier. It's double 18. And Kevin Doots beats Luke Littler in the board final. The teenager had a match dart. He missed double 13. He'd been stranded on tops in the previous leg when Doots took out 88, and he takes out another combination finish. Kevin Doots is a player on the up, and he beats Luke Littler. We said he looked vulnerable. He hasn't been at his best over the last 2 days. He's still won ranking money. He's won games, but he will not add to his title collection because Hawkeye overcomes the nuke.
Parano.
throw for the bullseye first.
Into the last 16 here, Players' Championship 8. We have got top seeds still left standing in every
25.
quarter of the draw. There are other second-tier seeds besides, including Chris Dobey, our winner of the
25.
title yesterday. He is looking to do the double, is Dobey, and he has just come through another extraordinary game here in Leicester by beating Stephen Bunting in the last leg decider, despite the bullet averaging 106 against him. But he
Outside,
faces
Chris
now the world champion and the world #1. This is quite probably the hardest test in this sport right now, taking on cool hand Luke Humphries. Humphries yet to win one of these titles this year, though.
140.
He has played some sensational stuff today. 108 average against Jeffrey de Svan, 106 against Brendan Dolan, winning the match with a 167 checkout. But the route to glory today is not likely to be an easy one, because he has
100.
yesterday's winner, Chris Dobey, here. It could be Gary Anderson in the quarter-finals. There's the likes of Rob Cross, Josh Rock, Jan van Veen all lurking in this half of the draw.
140.
But there's no Michael van Gerwen, because Andrew Gilding has taken him out of the tournament. Goldfinger showing MVG the door here
91.
today in Leicester. There'll be no finish for Humphries at the end of this. Dobey, no need to take this out. It'd be a statement though, wouldn't it? No statement needed.
138.
Dobey was a title winner before Humphries, won 2 of these titles back in 2021. It was the first one of these in 2022, where Humphries picked up his first senior title. Oh, he's nearly busted his score there.
16.
In the end, can't get the job done. You wouldn't think there's going to be many legs. Oh, he's going to leave double 3. He
140.
attempted to anyway. I don't think there'll be many legs where Luke Humphries isn't on a finish after 4 visits to the board.
Game shot.
So Dobey takes advantage while he can and wins the opening leg. Had some big meetings in the past, these two. Only a couple last year. This is their
85.
first meeting of 2024. But Humphries beat him in Sindelfingen on the European Tour on his way to the final there. Lost that final to Rob Cross, actually.
140.
But Dobey beat him on his way to the title at the Masters at the start of the year, 10-8.
78.
Dobey's also got a victory over him at the World Grand Prix. Humphries beat Dobey in the last 16 of the World Championship a couple of years ago.
58.
One of his numerous quarter-final runs before he went all the way to the Sid Waddell Trophy at the start of this year.
180.
First max for Cool Hand. Dobey does what he can. Well, he's gone to the 18s there because he thought it leaves a better number if he hits the single. But because he got the treble, doesn't leave as good an out as if he got the treble 20.
136.
Would have been single to double. Here he might have to use 2 darts to get to a double. And will have to.
Game
1
shot.
dart's all he needs, turns out. 1 apiece. Real
95.
range of stuff going on here. Gary Anderson and Danny Van Tripe enduring a pretty torrid game. And both averaging in the 70s for a lot of it, but Anderson is 5-2 up in that one. While Rob Cross is 3-2 up on Stefan Belmont, despite averaging 115. Is Gerwyn Price's
100.
brilliant day coming to an end? He's averaging well over a ton for the day, but he's 4-2 down to Danny Noppert. How highly do you rate Danny Noppert? Not
180.
highly enough is the answer. Dobey once again doing what he can to get to a finish, but Humphries is going to put some pressure on this.
56.
Not as much as he would like, but it's certainly a better outshot than the 167 Dobey's eyeing up. Yeah, likes to bring the bull into play there, leaves tops. chance gone.
No. 70 left. 114.
So to continue the hold to throw.
Game shot.
That's exactly what happens. Looks like these two have settled down now. 14 data. Gary Anderson is through to the quarter-finals.
180.
Third leg running that Humphries has hit a max. So it is Gary Anderson who awaits the winner of this game, the number 8 seed, who probably should have lost to Aidan Kirk.
44.
Destroyed Jelle Klaasen and has just battled through a contest with Danny van Tripe, winning 6 legs to 2.
60. $137. 140. 134.
So treble 13 for double 16. How many times did we see him do this in exactly that fashion at the World Championship? Scores so heavy that he's given the option of going for the bull first on the 1-2-1. Gets it. 39-32. Thank you very much.
$86. $140.
Just sit back and enjoy this, because it looks like these two are in their rhythm and they are going to produce something very, very good. The averages are massive.
60.
The stakes are high, and whoever wins this game has got a great shout to go on and claim the title. For Dobey,
80.
it'll be the first time in his career he's done back-to-back titles. And remember, this is, look, it's Players' Championship, it's floor events. These aren't the most prestigious
99.
thing around in PDC darts, but everybody is here. All the top players, every single member of the top 10, the top 20, the top 32, they're all here. Even Cameron Menzies turned up today because he forgot yesterday. Dobey looking to hold his throw. He'll get 1 dart at tops. And he only needs 1 dart on this occasion. This is top quality stuff from 2 of the best in the world.
77.
I presume Chris Dobey is still feeling under the weather. He was not feeling great yesterday. He had one of the best days of his darting life. He should try getting ill more often.
81.
Humphries in a spot of bother here.
100.
Dobey has stolen the darts. May play on the 19s again. Yeah, nice use of the board. Leaves that 170, and he does leave it an awful lot. Takes it out quite a bit as well.
134.
For another big fish.
145.
It's a huge one yesterday against Mike De Decker. Does not produce one here, but Humphries looking at a ton plus checkout. Does not get the treble he needs.
51.
Golden chance for Hollywood. Breaks the throw, 14 data. We have another player, in fact 2 more players in the quarterfinals. One of them is Danny Noppert, who's taken out Gerwyn Price, who's averaged over a ton again today, but still been beaten 6-3. And the other is Radek Zagansky, the Pole.
60.
A title winner, of course, but it wasn't enough to save his tour card. Went to Q School, got it straight back, and he's in the quarterfinals here today.
140.
101 average from Radek in that game against Ricky Evans, and a 6-4 win as Humphries produces a 4th maximum of this match. He has battered Dobey on that count, but there's been so many 2 treble visits from Dobey. He's got 3 trebles there, but 2 of them aren't very good ones.
140.
Leaves that 1-2-1 again. Chances are he won't be starting on the bull. He'll be going a different route.
138.
Oh, and that's the wrong route.
81.
For 5-2 against the world #1 and world champion, who's averaging about 105 at the minute.
56.
Misses a dart for 5-2. It could be a turning point. It may be a turning point. The first 2 darts at double weren't great for Luke Humphries, but he stepped across, maintained his composure, hit the double 10, breaks the throw. He's throwing to level this match.
134.
The averages have not deviated from being well into 3 figures. It is world-class darts from 2 world-class operators.
100. 45.
Can van Veen has now joined the successful quarter-finalists. Josh Rock will not make it back-to-back finals.
60.
2 of the most exciting young players in the world, Van Veen and Rock. Van Veen has won it. Not a great game, to be honest.
134.
But he is through, and he'll face either Rob Cross or Stefan Belmont.
95. 134.
Dobey having a rare leg where he hasn't scored particularly well, but all of a
140.
sudden he's back in with a chance. Didn't last very long though, did it? 14 darter, 4 apiece. Only a few moments ago, Chris Dobey missed a dart for 5-2.
140. 43.
Doesn't like it. Won loads more Euro Tour titles than he has these floor events, Luke Humphries. I mean, the bloke's won more major titles than he has floor events.
133.
The standard he's been producing has been excellent. Just hasn't been enough to win one of these yet.
140.
Dobey's got time here. It's not great. Key passage. Double top.
79.
He's dragged that over to the left-hand side, Chris Dobey. 57 and ball. Humphries does not get a dart for the leg. Dobey is going to have to burn a dart, having dragged that last one into the 5 when he was looking at double top. Double 16 for 5-4.
19.
The world champ is only going to get one dart.
52.
And he does not take his opportunity. It is unlikely he'll get any more. It's the worst leg of the match. We're into a 7th visit.
Game shot.
And it may prove to be the key moment in the back end of this one. Chris Dobey, the world number 15, leads the world number 1, 5-4. And if Humphries is to win this, he's going to have to do it in a last leg decider. Now, he beat Brendan Dolan in the last leg decider, and it brought an end to a run of 9 consecutive last leg deciders that he had lost. Now, it just so happens that in every single one of those 10 matches that had gone the distance,
100.
he'd been thrown second. Well, it's the same position here if we go the distance. He needed something mad to win it, though. It was a 167 checkout.
40.
Can Humphries take it to a last leg decider? Can he fashion a chance? And will he need to take out something similarly unlikely?
97. 95. 96.
Andrew Gilding, the former UK Open champion, is in the last 8. Gilding plays Zagansky for a place in the semis.
33.
Okay, 33. Now for double 16.
58.
He can afford to miss that one, but he won't be allowed to miss when he returns.
138.
It's a lovely setup, but he's relying on the best player in the world missing.
Game shot.
He does not miss with his last dart. And for the second game running, Luke Humphries is in a last leg decider. For the 11th game that has gone the distance with Luke Humphries, he is having to break. The first 9 times he couldn't do it.
140.
The 10th time he did against Brendan Dolan. Can he do it back to back here? There is nothing
96.
between him and the averages. There is nothing between him and the score, pretty much. Fascinating game.
57.
Oh, great visit from Luke Humphries. Dobey to leave the 170 again. He has left the 170 again, surely. Surely he cannot take out a 170 to win a game in a last leg decider for the second day running.
126.
2 massive checkouts face these two. And it's too massive for Dobey. You could tell from his reaction that he was thinking about
96.
yesterday and his success against Mike De Decker. Luke Humphries is not going to get a match dart in this visit. He sets it up brilliantly. One match dart at double top. He's moving to the left. And he cannot get past the blocker dart. Chris Dobey has missed his opportunity to win it. Luke Humphries does not miss his chance. He survives a match dart in a brilliant game. He was 4-2 down. Dobey missed a dart for 5-2, but Humphries kept on trying and making it difficult. And in the end, Dobey only had 1 chance to wrap it up. He couldn't take it. 10 missed darts at double for Chris Dobey, 1 of them for the match. And the world number 1 is through to the quarterfinals, and he will face Gary Anderson there. 8 players left standing at Players Championship 8. Half of them have never won a senior PD or
25.
Players Championship title before. I should correct you, because one of those is Andrew Gilding, who has won a major title, but
25.
hasn't won anything else. And neither of these guys, the number 1 from Switzerland, Stefan Belmont, and Jan van Veen, one of the
25.
most exciting young talents from the Netherlands, they have not won a senior title on the PDC circuit.
25.
That could change today. Belmont has already taken out Rob Cross, Mensur Suljovic, Michael Smith. He started the day by beating Chris Landman, who's a Players Championship finalist in the past. Jan van Veen has beaten the number 1 from Latvia, Madars Razma, the number 1 from Northern Ireland, Josh Rock, beat Martin Lukman, somehow surviving, I believe, 10 match darts, having been 5-1 down in that match. And he began the day with victory over Germany's Daniel Closer. Chris Murphy alongside me for this one. Van Veen will be the favourite, but if you look at their last games, if Belmont carries on like he did against Cross and Van Veen carries on like he did against Rock, Belmont is going to win these comfortably. He averaged 15 points more than it.
Yeah, certainly
60.
is the case, and it's uncharted territory for Stefan Belmont. He is through to the quarter-finals of a
60.
PDC Players Championship event for the first time. In fact, the first Swiss player to get that far. Only ever before has it been managed in Challenge Tour tournaments. He himself
140.
responsible for 5 of those runs. But in terms of the top tour, this is new ground for
58.
Swiss darts. And their premier player might have even bigger things. Already won a Challenge Tour this year. That was in Milton Keynes when he won Challenge
39.
Tour event 4.
They have played each other before, but you're going back a few years in a Euro Tour
125.
qualifier for non-tour card holders, and to be honest, there's no point even looking at that because Van Veen is just a totally different player since those days. However, you could argue that Belmont's become a much better player since then as well.
80 scored, yeah. 98.
Doesn't get a go at the double, but
134.
Belmont is on an enormous outshot, 164. So Van Veen leaving himself handily placed on double 12, and he will come back with 3 darts at it.
56.
Double 3.
21.
Well, that couldn't have gone much worse for Van Veen.
Yeah, it gives Stefan a big opportunity here. Treble 19 found. Double 16
Game shot.
found as well. The punishment is applied, and first blood is Belmont's. 1-0 to him, 1-0 to Gilding against Zagansky, 1-0 to Noppert against Dutz.
Not the lineup you would have expected. Meanwhile, Humphreys and Anderson, the number 1 and number 8 seeds, duke it out in that
140.
top quarter of the draw.
Now, do you want me to recycle a Mark Webster joke?
Why not?
58.
What do you make of Stefan Belmont's shirt?
Go on.
I think the sleeve is a big plus.
41.
Do you see now why I credited the origin of that joke before delivering it?
I mean, it takes something when you're trying to distance yourself from
33.
certain bon mots.
Well, he could be opening up a bit of distance himself here, Belmont. Van Veen not really getting going, only 350 after 9 darts, after missing doubles to win the opening leg.
60.
350 can be done in 6.
Not gonna be.
100.
And he's still chasing Van Veen, and to be honest, he's playing pretty much as he did against Josh Rock in the previous round, and that is unlikely to be good enough. It was very unlikely it was good enough against Rock, but it was still good enough for a 6-3 win.
60.
Because Rock was poor himself, yesterday's beaten finalist.
Should be of use to him, that, as a guide, and it is.
100.
But only a ton, so a similar finish on offer for each player. It's treble 20, treble 19, double 19 for Belmont. That won't happen. Different options for Van Veen.
59.
We'll go on the 19s, but it needed to be perfect to take it out.
90.
It's okay, particularly with the way his darts go in the board. 60 is not a daunting prospect. Could get a bit daunting if Belmont goes 2-0 here, and it can still be done. Van Veen turns away immediately, knowing he'll be back
36.
to the board.
Yeah, and 60 shouldn't be any trouble for him. The dart lays down and avoids blocking tops.
50.
3 darts missed for the opening leg, 2 darts missed for the next leg. It could be 2-0 Van Veen. It perhaps should be 2-0 Van Veen. He's been first to a double in both legs.
40.
But it may yet be 1-1.
Game shot.
It is there. 1 apiece. It is a break of throw. It is turgid.
Don't sugar the pill down.
100.
Three 0 to Danny Nopper, anything but averaging 109 and halfway to victory against Kevin Dukes in his
97.
quarter-final. Luke Humphries has the lead against Gary Anderson, 2-1 in the early stages of that one. Stan Dawson's gone to watch.
$94. 100. 58.
Well, it's all happening.
40. 135. 42.
Double top.
Game shot.
In it goes for the 71 checkout. Van Veen leads the match. $99. 2-1 to the Dutchman in this one. 3-1 to Danny Nopper in his Dutch duel with Kevin Dukes. 2-1 Gilding against Dragansky, and 2-2 in the battle between Humphries and Gary Anderson.
These two in the same half the draw as Humphreys Anderson, of course, so the winners play each other. To be fair, it's only really Noppert and Doots who are turning it on, because everybody else is trundling about in 70s and 80s averages. To be fair, Luke Humphreys is averaging 93, but for him, that's poor. Gary Anderson is averaging 85.
78.
We know that Van Veen is capable of really good things.
Well, he's thrown some great things here in Leicester this week, hasn't he?
He really did emerge over the last couple of years. Won 8 Development Tour titles. Has posted averages in the 100 teens on several occasions.
Well, yesterday, his first round game, he averaged 107 in destroying Hopai Puha. And even when he went out in the board final, round 3 to Ryan Searle, it was a 96.5 average. That's the sort of Van Veen that we expect. This is not, and yet it might be enough for a 3-1 lead against Stefan Belmont, who's taken out a whole list of big names so far today.
98.
But not playing like this, he hasn't.
Game shot.
Always tempted to say that that kind of dart could be awkward, and then remember that so often he manages to do that. Jan Van Veen does have the ability to go above or below.
Still don't really understand how, but he does.
Sort of seems to clatter into it, doesn't he? And yeah, it doesn't really make sense, because the dart is an obstacle. He leads 3-1 and awakens
125.
Stefan Belmont.
Uh, 60.
Well, Van Veen has upped it a little bit over the last couple of legs. I mean, not hugely,
140.
but enough. Because if Belmont continues to play like this, which he's kind of done from the start of the game, Van Veen doesn't have to be at his best to win this comfortably.
And it's starting to look
140.
comfortable. Belmont just reminds him he's still there.
80,
Yeah, 80 scored.
Just having to check what he'd scored with the referee, Owen Binks.
140.
Just in case it was 120, to avoid any potential embarrassment.
For a 12 darter, nope, not going to happen. And Van Veen, once again, he was
96.
waiting, lurking on Belmont's shoulder, waiting to see if he can take it out. As soon as he missed the second dart, he went to prepare for this.
Game shot.
And prepare well. 13 darter to back up the 14 darter. Van Veen is back playing proper stuff. And this little period at the start of this match, and indeed for what looked like the whole of the Josh Rock match, where he was nowhere near his usual levels, he's got away with it. And that's the sort of luck you need. Gary Anderson could win the title today, and Aidan Kirk probably should have beaten him.
Meanwhile, Gerwyn Price has averaged in 3 figures in every match and hasn't made the quarterfinals.
Exactly. There is an irony to it that you can play brilliantly. Luke Littler himself has had much better nights in the Premier League this year than Manchester, and yet that's one of the nights he won.
83.
And after that sloppy start to the match, Van Veen goes 4 perfect darts on that occasion, and he looks to be on course to open up a 5-1 advantage.
140.
Although once again, Belmont just gives him a tap on the shoulder.
$94.
Enough to leave the finish. Belmont wants to leave tops here. Oh, that's a killer dart. He's gone from being on a 2-dart checkout to a 3-dart checkout.
May not matter anyway. Well, he might change his mind here. That dart does look awkward. He's got 90 left. Yeah, he's gone for a treble 20, an open bed rather than a blocked one.
And do you know what? That's the third player I've seen this
128.
week. Okay, that he's found it anyway. Third player I've seen this week with 90 left with 2 darts go treble 20.
Big fan of it. I always think you've got 2 darts
59.
at, and you can use treble 20. You've got 2 darts left. That's the one you go for most of the time.
Double 4 for 5-1. Anguish for Van Veen. Belmont still hanging on.
Game shot.
And he does pick up a second leg. Van Veen is not out of the woods yet. That little burst has put him in charge of the match, but it still has to be won.
Danny Noppert maybe is 5-2 to the good against Kevin Dukes. Luke Humphries also has managed to get to 5 legs. 5-3 he leads Gary Anderson. The winner of that faces the winner of this in the semi-finals.
41.
Yeah, 3 apiece between Radek Zagansky and Andrew Gilding.
$140.
If Anderson loses that game to Luke Humphries, we are once again guaranteed a new winner this year, aren't we? It'll be 8 different winners from 8 events. And possibly a brand
97.
new title winner. Because Jan Van Veen, while he has not been massively impressive for the last sort of hour or so, we know what he's capable of.
He's plugging away, and we are seeing across the board, really, from all 8 of the, maybe Danny Noppert accepted, but at least 7 of the 8 quarter-finalists seeing their performance level just drop at this stage of the day.
100.
And they will get an opportunity to move within 1.
Mm.
140.
Ton 40, you would say that's what he needed minimum. He's got it to leave a Shanghai finish, and that's in the 3, so treble 19 or treble 13. He's gone the 13s.
41.
Oh, it means he's going to have to burn a dart to get to a double if he's allowed back to the board. I'm not sure how wise that is from Jan Van Veen.
Double top.
Game shot.
That is a lovely finish by Stefan Belmont, who just will not go away, keeps hanging around like a bad smell. But Gary Anderson has gone away, and we will get a new winner in 2024. Luke Humphries, the world number 1, a 6-4 win. In the end, he has averaged
140.
almost 100 in beating Anderson, and we'll play the winner of this in the semi-finals.
Yeah, he's done that a couple of times today now, hasn't he, where he started slowly and then clicked into gear, Luke Humphries. Jan Van Veen looked like he'd done the same in this game, but now he's faded a little. And Stefan Belmont might be enjoying the sweet smell of success wafting towards his Swiss nostrils.
When
60.
Van Veen started to pull away, wouldn't have given him a sniff. Danny Noppert, though, 6-3 through against Kevin Dukes, so the Dutchman has made it.
Well, that's 2 of the top seeds through to the semi-finals. In Humphries, the number 1 seed, and Danny Noppert, the number 11 seed. We're guaranteed an unseeded player from the Zagansky Gilding game, which is 4 all.
47.
And Van Veen's one of those second-tier seeds, 21 today. That's by virtue of his performances in these sorts of events over the last 12 months, which reflects how consistently good he's been.
Belmont has been the better player in the last couple of legs.
170.
It's just disappeared again for Van
85.
Veen, hasn't it? As quickly as it arrived, a few legs into this game, when he started to look like the Van Veen we know. just gone away.
Game
And
shot.
Stefan Belmont won't.
All square. An 8-leg festival of darts.
Yes, sir.
140.
They will come down to the final 3 to see which one of them goes through to the final
42.
4.
Oh, it's back.
180.
Can Van Veen's back. All of a sudden, ton 40, ton 80 to start a leg with the darts. It's been a real battle. He is having to struggle his way through.
140.
But Van Veen, credit to him, because when things aren't going well, when you're not playing well, the frustration can get the better of you. How many times have you seen it where players have just started throwing their hands up and thinking, well, I can't find anything. He's digging in. He's producing a brilliant leg here.
Yeah, full credit to him. It could be an 11 darter.
140.
18 for double top. Double 10 for a 12 dart leg, and he sneaks it right in the bottom corner to move within 1. Gilding is in the same position against Radek Jaganski, 5-4 up.
128. 60. 100.
That's a single 19, and
40.
that's another one. And that is 45. So Belmont pulling his arm back and throwing at the board.
58.
Leaves himself 170. I wonder.
100.
Sure, everybody watching wants a last leg decider.
125.
They might not get it after that visit. Van Veen 2 darts away from victory. Belmont 2 darts away from forcing the last leg decider. Well, now I'll have to go to the 13s. Double 12. Stefan Belmont takes us the distance.
That is a perfect first start, but not a perfect second one.
81.
Think he agreed.
Yesterday we saw the first French player ever to reach the quarterfinals of a senior PDC ranking event. Today, Stefan Belmont has become the first
60.
Swiss player to reach the quarterfinals. He is 406 points away from taking the next step and reaching the semis.
Beatty.
Couple of last start treble 19s that could prove crucial come the end of this contest.
60.
And no treble at all for Van Veen. The door is open.
beaten 3 major champions on the trot to get to this stage, Stefan Belmont, and Michael Smith, Mensur Suljovic and Rob Cross. He was 4-1 down in this game.
100.
Van Veen still isn't down to a finish. Belmont needs to get the numbers right here. 1 treble and getting the maths right will get him to a finish. And he's got the treble. He is going to get a look.
Confirmation that Radek Żagański is the 3rd semi-finalist. He's beaten Andrew Gilding 6-5. Can Stefan Belmont join him in the most sensational style? Another. Oh, it was close. It clattered off the barrel. He's even having to check whether it's in or not. It's not. He sets up perfectly, but Van Veen will get too much darts of his own.
Can he take and just lay it on top of that? It has been a game of mistakes. It has been a struggle of a game. It has been a battle. And it is a battle that Jan van Veen wins. Stefan Belmont, his run comes to an end in the quarterfinals. The first Swiss player ever to reach this stage of a PDC ranked event. But Jan van Veen battles past him. And he is still going in Players' Championship 8, but he is going to have to improve markedly to worry the world #1 and world champion Luke Humphries in the semi-finals.
Blue is the heart that yearns to explore. Blue is the pull of the unknown. Blue is the fire that burns inside. Wake up your blue with our tires. Ignite your blue. Toyo Tires.
So time for the semi-finals now here at Players Championship 8, and we will get a brand new winner on the Roll of Honour for 2024. Could be the world #1 and world champion Luke Humphries, who has won plenty of things, including a Euro Tour and of course the big one at Ali Pali, but yet to pick up a floor title this year. He takes on Jan van Veen, who was similarly successful in his development tour days, but now looking for his first senior success. In the other semi-final encounter over on Stream 2, it's Radek Żagański, the Pole, up against another Dutchman in Danny Noppert. But in this one, Humphries wins the advantage of throw. And what has been a decent enough day for him. He got rid of Gary Anderson in the quarterfinals, playing pretty well, average 97 in that one. His average for the day is in 3 figures. Wins against Paul Kroner, Jeffrey Desvan, Brendan Dolan, Chris Dobie and Gary Anderson.
140.
In that Dolan game, his best performance of the day when he averaged 106. He did go to a last leg decider, had to win one against Chris Dobie as well, in which he survived a match start. Against Dolan, he took out 167 in the decider against the throw, with Dolan waiting on a finish. And it ended a streak of 9 straight last leg deciders lost for Luke Humphries.
58.
120 is a very nice finish for Jan van Veen, who does lay his darts down flat, so will not block tops. Couldn't hit it either, allowing Humphries a go, albeit at the bull,
60,
which he can't find. So this for an opening leg break.
Game shot,
which Van Veen gets. Race to 7 now, we're in the semi-finals, remember. As this pair do battle.
140.
For just the second time, and the previous meeting was on a Euro Tour stage. Humphries won that match. 100. It was a quarter-final. In fact, Van Veen averaged 106 in that game. It ultimately ended in disappointment for Humphries because he lost that Euro Tour in May last year, the final to Rob Cross, in what was at the time a straight shootout to see who would be the English #2 and playing in the World Cup of Darts with Michael Smith. Well, not only is he the English #1 now and will be making his debut in that tournament, he's the world #1.
140.
But he's got his hands full at the moment with Van Veen, who's looking at the 11 segment but has missed it.
81.
And what world champions do is punish things like that.
99.
Humphries came very close to doing so. It's tops then for GVV.
Game shot.
To double his lead. We have seen him go all the way to a final
100
on a couple of occasions. Van Veen actually did it in just his 8th Players Championship event in 2022 when he was making up the numbers before getting a tour card. Got to a final again in Hildesheim last year. Since reached 3 further semi-finals, but still, as I mentioned, looking for his first tournament success.
100
has made a very strong start here It's a top dog in darts who
100.
has had a habit today of starting matches slowly but finish them fantastically,
137.
which is the main thing. So to stop the rot at the start of this game, double 16.
Game shot.
Very, very calmly completed by Luke Humphries. We'll be, of course, playing in the Premier League on Thursday night.
100.
Not far away at all in Birmingham. Humphries faces Peter Wright in the quarter-finals.
125.
He will be bidding to return to the top of the table. His
96.
three-night winning streak was ended 2 weeks ago by Luke Littler in Belfast, and Littler then doubled up in Manchester last week.
58.
On to 7 on offer then for Van Veen. 17s. And the bullseye.
102.
Humphries himself may take aim at the bull. Well, that wasn't going to happen after the first start, but that's a fabulous rescue act after a wayward opening dart there from Humphries. And he's turning it on now. Symptomatic of the day he's had, starting games slowly, but then awakening to
60.
Wonderful heights.
$140. 100. 81. 64. Game shot.
Total turnaround from 2-0 down to 3-2 up.
100. 96. 81.
Standing up at 3-0 up on Radek Jaganski in the other semi-final.
59.
Van Veen looking to build on what's been a very encouraging day for him.
180.
That 180 gets him down to a finish first as he tries to
41.
put an end to this losing streak, having been on the wrong end of the last 3 legs, and Luke Humphries almost helping him there because he threw those darts with very little
60.
care. He seems to think this leg is over. Now look at that
45.
nonchalant chuck from Humphries, allowing Van
Game
Veen to
shot.
do whatever he likes with the 80 finish. What he liked was treble 16 for double 16 to tie up the match at 3-3, and we now get the fully
59.
focused Luke Humphries that we had in the previous 3 legs. Beautiful
74.
darts by Van Veen.
140.
Can he follow up? Wins today for the young Dutchman against Daniel Close and Martin
100.
Lukeman, Madas Razmat, Josh Rock and Stefan Belmont.
180.
Two of those games saw him win last leg deciders. In one of them against Martin Lukeman, it appears that he survived about 10 match
60.
darts. Treble 19.
62.
Humphries himself hit a stunning 167 earlier today. Maybe about to get one hit against him.
102.
But it's tops to regain the
shot.
lead. 4-3 now then to Cool Hand. Yeah, I mentioned that match against Lukeman. Van Veen, I'm just looking through the statistics from the game. It
100.
appears to be 10 match darts that he survived, coming back from 5-1 down to beat Smash.
85.
Just shows never give up. Your day can turn very, very quickly and very, very dramatically.
180.
And both players now seem to be raising their games in this match, particularly Van Veen. Little look up from Luke Humphries.
42.
I think he's questioning whether there's a bit of a breeze in the arena. And the game's hardly been a breeze for Luke.
180.
In fact, Jan Van Veen is producing a bit of a hurricane. Back-to-back maximums.
60.
Stunning leg
Game
of
shot.
darts. Now, if he does think there's a problem, now would be the time to ask, but he's content to carry on.
180.
Well, I can't credit Luke Humphries with that maximum. I think the darts were blown into the treble.
100. 42.
Do get the odd little change in condition in venues when they
180.
empty, for example, like it would have today as the day's gone on. Jan Van Veen really has found something here. He's
134.
now averaging 102. And that could be rising.
105.
Chance for him to back up that brilliant previous 11 dart leg with a dozen darter here to break Luke's throw. He's sped up. He's finding everything very, very easy at the moment.
96.
But he could not strike the crucial dart. And Luke Humphries can keep his nose in front by hitting double 10.
Game shot.
The game has
100.
seemed to ignite in the last 2 or 3 legs. And so often at the top level of this sport,
125.
when one player lifts their level, the other one manages to match it.
100.
Humphries 2 legs away from the final.
99. 145.
Hasn't been in a final of any Players' Championship
48.
event this year, although it should be pointed out he hasn't played in every single one of them.
140.
The Roll of Honour for 2024 reads Luke Little, Gary Anderson, Ryan Searle, Damon Hetta,
81.
Raymond van Barneveld, Dave Chisnell and Chris Dobie, who won yesterday, but Humphries beat today.
Game shot.
Will he beat Jan Van Veen, who has levelled this match and has lifted his levels so much more than what we saw from him in the semi-final. That
96.
grueling affair against Stefan Belmont. Up to 104 now, the average after that 140. Look at the disparity between them, but Humphries has been in charge of this match really since he took the lead at 3-2.
100. $140.
No treble. This could be a pivotal leg. Van Veen now the favourite to win it. Cannot find a treble himself.
$43.
Just as I was saying how
81 left.
the standard had picked up, suddenly in the heat of battle, both players are starting to flap and falter a little bit here. That's a very good leave from Van Veen, but can Humphries pull out a big finish? Of course he can. That's what champions do. And that could be the moment that sets him on the way to the final.
180.
But what a response from Van Veen, whose fifth 180 is an indication that he is not ready to bow out.
180.
Back at you, says Luke Humphries.
80.
And that is a disaster. Not too much punishment from Humphries. Van Veen breathes again. Doesn't like that dart, so moves away.
93.
And the last dart did locate a big treble. Treble 18 to leave 148, but Humphries is going to leave something much smaller.
140.
In fact, it's a two-darter by virtue of the 140. So the world champion, the world number one, will step up, needing 100 to reach his first floor final of 2024.
90.
Van Veen will feel like he deserves this chance. Humphries misses two match darts. But he couldn't take the chance. Wow. Two match darts becomes four match darts. And Van Veen, who's outperformed Luke Humphries in this game statistically, will get the chance once again to force a decider. Double two.
Game
found by the Dutchman. And we do go the distance once again. Humphries for the third time today. This remarkably is the first time all season that he's thrown first in a last leg
41.
decider. And it's his 11th one. $140. However, that advantage has already been snatched away from him.
100.
Is Van Veen closing in on a very, very sizable scalp?
55.
Stellar start, but then a slip.
134.
And Humphries takes command once again.
$96.
Not much in it, but enough that Humphreys maintains the initiative, but now maybe he doesn't.
82.
Good last start, but it's only to leave 144. Now, when he ended that streak of last leg decider losses to Brendan Dolan earlier, he took out 167.
43.
That's exactly what Van Veen has left. To try and break him, that would be
100.
the ultimate irony. But he's not going to do it. So Humphreys will come back.
100.
For 2 more match starts, he's squandered 4 already. It's double 16. Becomes double 8. Van Veen thinks
Game
it's over, and it
shot
is.
and
The darts are on the table. And despite a very, very strong performance from the young Dutchman, it is the world number 1 who progresses through to today's final. He's really had to work for it today. He's dug deep when he's needed to, and his reward is a final meeting with Danny Noppert, who in the other semi-final defeated Radek Zagansky 7-2. There you see the numbers, and really, he's been outperformed in just about every department by Jan van Veen, apart from the important one at the top, which reads Luke Humphreys 7, Jan van Veen 6. So it will be Humphreys against Noppert in the final. That's coming next. So then here we go, the final of Players Championship 8, live from Leicester, and it features the world number 1, the world champion, Luke Humphries. Cool Hand is looking
Danny's won the ball
to win the fight against the Freeze. Danny Noppert, his opponent. In today's decider, it is a match that guarantees we will have yet another new winner on the Roll of Honour for the 8 of these Players Championship events. Will have brought 8 different winners, but which way will this one go? Will it be Humphries or Noppert picking up their first floor title of the year? You will find out in the best of 15-leg battle in the company of myself, Chris Murphy, and the former Players Champion himself, Paul Nicholson.
Thanks, Murph. I think the first thing we have to touch on is the fact that Danny Noppert has been in 4 finals in Players Championships and he's never lost one. But this is a slightly different beast, isn't it? He's playing the number 1 in the world, the number 1 seed and the world champion. I'm not sure how you could stack the deck any harder against Danny at this point as he looks to get his 5th Players Championship title. However, if you look at it from a slightly different perspective, Danny's been winning titles at this level for longer than Humphries, and he has more of these titles than Luke does.
Yeah, Humphries looking to match that tally of 4, having won 2 last year, including 1 here in Leicester,
95,
and 1 the year before. Most of his success has come on the big stages for Luke Humphries. 6 Euro Tours and 4 majors.
97.
For the first leg, he's not going to take out the maximum finish. You might not think it, but Humphries does have options on this shot. I've seen people go for the 17s on this. He can get past that easily, but not on this occasion.
58.
Only 112 though after that 170 was left by Noppert. Would have hoped to have been much more handily placed. He has options himself, and that is a very good dart.
80.
Humphries was nodding in approval of getting past that obstacle, but he couldn't find the double. Noppert.
Can Humphries find tops?
Game shot.
Just says hello to the flight on the way through and gives himself the lead. I, like Luke, was very impressed with that second dart of the previous turn. I was convinced he was going to go for the treble 18 and double 19.
99.
But that miss of double 16 has cost him the first leg of this final.
9th meeting between the pair. Humphries heads the head-to-head, 5-3.
100.
Has won the last 2 to get himself into that position. Both of those came in European Tour events, and they both came
100.
in European Tour events that Luke Humphries went on to win.
Interestingly, Humphries has never been behind in the head-to-head. Has been 2-2 and 3-3, but he's always felt comfortable playing against Danny. That is very evident. Won their first 2 meetings.
125.
You just get the feeling that these two will play each other an awful lot in big arenas for maybe the next decade.
41.
He's the ultimate dark horse, isn't he, Danny Noppert? When people discuss who's going to win titles, he's not one of the players that often is mentioned.
99.
But he is one of the players that is very often in the latter stages of tournaments.
I think he's been under the radar his whole career. That's why he's never talked about as a Premier League possibility, even though he's been in the top 10.
And even when he won a major. Double top.
38.
Can't replicate what he did in leg number 1. Danny is flake hunting. Not quite.
Yeah, needs to take these chances because he will.
Game shot.
And he does. And Humphries leads 2-0.
It's very easy to say that when Humphries won the World Championship on January the 3rd, that 2024 was going to be an amazing year. But you made a great point off the air. We were talking about the pressure that surrounds a new world champion.
140.
Michael Smith didn't have a massively brilliant 2023. Did win in Munich, which is something that Luke has done as well. And Michael Smith
97.
did win a Players' Championship in 2023. Luke is searching for his first in this match.
85.
But what happened in the second half of the year didn't really give Michael Smith the kind of year that he wanted. However, you just get the feeling that Humphries is not under the same sort of pressure
98.
because the attention that has been garnered by Littler has taken pressure off him as world champion.
140.
Well, Danny Noppert trying to put pressure on him here by taking out 126. Only one treble needed to get a go at a double. He gets 2 for double 6, and that's a
Game shot.
fantastic finish from Danny Noppert to announce himself in this final.
Needed a confidence boost. That will do it.
180.
But we may be finding the part of the final here where they both go a little bit bananas.
Yeah, I think he might have poked the bear with that finish. Humphries responding with a maximum.
140.
A few seasons ago, Humphries started to make finals, but lost his first 3.
180.
He's not missed those 3. If he hits the next 3, it's going to be another 9-darter for the world number 1.
58.
This time last year, he'd never hit a 9-dart finish. He's since hit 3. But he won't be making it 4, not in this
89.
leg.
It's amazing, isn't it? Considering his talent and how long he'd been around as a development to a player as well.
57.
When the first one came, it was followed by others. Hold your horses a bit.
He thought he'd won the leg, and he has
Game
now.
shot.
In his own mind, he's won that leg twice.
Well, we were all hoping he'd win it on double 12. Danny Noppert himself has
83.
nailed the 9 on Pro Tours as well. In fact, he himself has hit more 9-dart finishes than Luke Humphries.
140.
One more, so Humphries was looking to level the 9-dart tally and the Pro Tour title tally in this final.
That's why I think these two are going to follow
96.
each other for the next decade. Danny's not going anywhere. I think there was a lot of people out there who thought that when he didn't defend the ranking money from the UK Open that he would
97.
sail down the rankings. That was never going to happen. Just the tiniest of blips. He's still well inside the top 16. And he will remain there for me for the foreseeable future.
140.
But these guys never have a bad game. In fact, the lowest winning average in any game they've ever played
100.
against each other is 93.1. And that was the first time they played 4 years ago. So if you take that out of the consideration, the worst average is
130.
95.5. But as time goes on, they just improve like this.
139.
It'll be 12 for tops.
Go on.
Game shot.
A little bit of emotion exhibited there by Danny Noppert. Not something you get too often, but he knew that was a big moment, having just seen Humphries miss the ball for the big one.
He knows he hasn't lost a final. He was noted, and I suppose continues to be noted as someone who
180.
fell at the semi-final stage too often. His semi-final record is just a little bit better now after winning
58.
against Radek Sagansky today. However, he wants to preserve that perfect record in finals like this. It could have been a lot worse than 3-2 down.
96.
Yeah, those wins coming against Ian White, Andrew Gilding, Simon Whitlock, and Christian Kist. Danny Noppert.
95.
That's why I say this is the hardest game he's had in a final.
Has lost a couple of finals on stage on the Euro Tour, but never in a Players' Championship event.
140.
I think people underestimate just how much he's done in his career. His BDO days, he got some good stuff there as well.
I lost the World Championship final, didn't he, to Glenn Durrant in 2017.
Correct. He was a fabulous player in that tournament. He's going to go for 20 in bull here. And he went aggressive. And now Humphreys is eyeing up.
45.
148 for 4-2.
Well, we don't know whether he would have hit the bullseye or not, or the double five, but he's probably ended up better off. Had he missed either of those
45.
targets, he would have had to burn a dart here to leave a double. Instead, he's got his favourite double. Those little bits of fortune can be really helpful.
In his semi-final in the previous game, there were micro signs from Humphreys that maybe he was wilting a little bit. And at this stage of a Premier League season, it's not a question of if that happens, it's when.
58.
From a tired perspective, his management of schedule over the last couple of years has been magical. He's got everything right.
180.
But when you put a Premier League into it, it's way more difficult.
And we did see him win 3 in a row, but in the last 2 weeks, he's lost his first match in the Premier League. Luke Humphreys. Speaking of 3 in a row, once again he kicks off a leg
100.
with a 180.
I just wonder when he is going to take a break this season. Won't be over the next couple of months.
140.
5 perfect darts will have to be enough right here.
That's 1 leg with 5, 1 leg with 7. And after being broken for the first time in this final, it looks like he's about to get that advantage of break back.
140. $96.
What are you thinking at this stage as we see somebody leave 85 again? Is this going to go the distance like we did with Littler against Searle in PC1 and Ryan Searle against
100.
Anderson in PC3? 2 games that have gone the distance so far in the Players' Championship season. It's the bullseye.
60.
And a chance for Noppert to take the lead.
1 of 3 to do so. The standard of the game suggests many hope it will go the distance.
63.
A rare miss on tops for Danny Noppert, who is averaging 98. Humphreys slightly higher than that.
21.
He might rue that miss. That was to break straight back. You can't leave Danny on tops. Usually. Can he get past that one?
Game shot.
Silly question.
Again, we get the reaction. Last dart in hand to lead the world number 1, who has got to this final by virtue of winning 3 last leg deciders in a year that had seen him not win any before today. Had lost 9 last leg deciders in a row
85.
until he beat Brendan Dolan in his 3rd round match today by taking out 167 in the deciding leg. Brilliant stuff.
28.
Yeah, that is a finish you might not forget for a while. Both of them maxing very well today. Humphreys with 22 coming into this
60.
final match. Danny with 20. Only 1.5 points separating them average-wise coming into it.
95.
Humphreys not too happy with 95 there. But this situation is okay as long as he equalises. The moment somebody gets a 2-leg cushion, they will fancy that it's going to be their day.
131.
But maybe somebody isn't going to get a 2-leg cushion at any time from this point. It might be tit for tat.
Yeah, Humphreys led 2-0 and 3-1, but then Noppert got that break back. Humphreys missed the chance to restore that advantage.
90.
Maybe Noppert himself will get it.
94.
Because he's been living on the edge a lot today, do you think Humphreys at this stage is thinking it's going to happen again?
He's been living on the edge, but he's been improving his performance as games have gone on.
60 left. 60 left, yeah.
He's only got 1 day off tomorrow. before he plays in
95.
Birmingham in the Premier League to try and get himself out of second spot. Double 10. That is
Game
brilliant. He just needed a little burst of something, and that might just be it.
Well, again, he's not the type of player who lets it out like that so often, but Noppert's done it a couple of times in this match, and Humphreys does the same.
Just because he's world
100.
champion and world number 1 doesn't mean he wants to relent. He's not happy with making a final. Think about the UK Open. He wanted that
83.
title really, really badly. And it may be something like that that motivates him these days. He doesn't want to feel like he's second best.
54.
Put him in a final. He wants win or nothing. It's not about the money.
96.
It's not about the ranking points for Humphreys. It's about legacy building. Win by win by win.
Well, Michael van Gerwen described Luke Humphreys as the best player in the world. That's not
95.
a title that he will give anybody else easily. Van Gerwen, I think he's only ever
100.
used it to describe himself before making that statement after being on the wrong end of that absolute battering in the Euro Tour in Munich.
I get the feeling that Humphreys likes Munich a
140.
lot.
112 was the average from Humphreys in that final against MVG. 112 is the number that Danny Noppert wants to take out here.
That's another one of these darts. He did it earlier with dart 2, finding the 60. Can't do it this time. So Humphreys looks hungry for a break of throw as we go into the
88.
second half of this final.
Bullseye for starters. Oh, that's a wild miss. Double 17 was the target with the second dart, but really should not have been with the third. Maybe he thinks it's academic. And he'd be
Game
right to
shot.
think that as Noppert nails double 12 to edge ahead.
He's a big fan of double 12 as Danny. He's almost like a right-handed James Wade. It's all about 12s, tops and 10s.
So third time in the match, Luke Humphreys kicks off a leg with a 180. Just get the sense that
140.
something special could happen.
Not with a small 1 on dart 4, but he has got 26
39.
maximums for the day. Only a matter of 14 behind the record for a daily campaign.
Just doing something at the back table there. I think it's a bit of grip he's applying, some
60.
sort of powder or lotion.
You've got to be really smart. If something isn't right, if you've got something that can help you,
92.
if your hands are feeling a little bit smooth, I know that stuff. That's a particular brand of hand cream where it just gives you a little bit of a tacky nature on your
97.
fingertips.
Thought he was about to touch up his hair for a moment.
At least he's got that luxury, I guess.
44.
Well, wins today for Humphreys against Paul Kroner, Jeffrey Disvan, Brendan Dolan, Chris Dobie, who won yesterday's title,
96.
Gary Anderson, Ankian van Veen. Can he nick it off Noppert?
130.
That was almost a something special.
Now, what does Danny do on 108? Yeah, I've seen him go 18s before. Double. Oh boy,
90.
that's close to 6-4.
But the interesting thing is he's such a tops merchant. Having hit the treble,
Game
could have
shot.
chosen to leave tops. He decided against it, went for a different double, missed it, and then Humphreys punishes.
We may indeed be going the distance.
94.
One set of darts in World Championship format from here. And we know how good Mr. Humphreys is at set format.
58.
But how good is he when he doesn't have the darts? It would be so ironic if we go to the last leg decider and Humphreys doesn't have the throw, considering the stat that came out this
85.
morning.
No, he's put that demon to bed, hasn't he? All those last leg decider
100.
defeats have turned for Humphreys today. It's a game where the players are going with each other. If you look at the leg pattern, the first 2 legs were won in 17 darts by Humphreys. Then we had a couple of 12 darters exchanged. We've just had a couple of 18 darters followed by a couple of 16 darters exchanged. So they're just matching each other leg by leg.
Sometimes that's just what you've got to do in a final.
There's only been really one leg where the player's been blown away. That was leg 4 when Humphreys went out and Noppert was still in the 200s. In every other leg, they've been on not just finishers, but usually 2 darters at the least. Or at the most, as I should say.
Humphreys is doing well to get to a finish there. The first 2 darts were not in a prime position for him to find a treble 20, so the cover had to be good.
99.
And it was. Can he take the lead with a big shot? He lays down the marker. He's on the double. If Danny hits this, there might be more volume.
Begging to hit the treble. He obliges, but he can't find the double.
Punk just did a nosedive there. Double 10. Despair
30.
for Humphreys. It's not panic stations by any means, but that was a great chance for 6-5 up.
Game shot.
So Noppert is 6-5 up after Humphreys missed 3 darts to break his throw.
96.
Every now and again, if you're a legacy type player, someone who is going to win a stack of these, your Prices, your MVGs, your Andersons,
131.
not all of your wins are going to be smooth sailing. Every now and again, you're going to win a final where you've had to work extremely hard
180.
with a standard that maybe wouldn't win some other finals.
I've seen him several times today averaging low to mid 90s.
100.
2 or 3 legs away from the finish line, then suddenly chuck in a couple of 4-visit legs to take that average up towards 100 and over 100 on some occasions. And back-to-back 180s will certainly aid that.
He's approaching 30 for the day. And if there's going to be a purple patch, this is not a bad time to find it.
100.
Just try and deny him shots at anything. And that's what he does with that incredible 11 darter. What a great recovery after missing chances in the previous leg.
Well, now just needs a leg like that against the throat. Easily said. Difficult
60.
to do. But this could be an opportunity. Only 60 for Noppert.
137.
If he's going to go bananas on the inner ring, Danny's going to have to get cracking. That first start of his is going to have to be as good as that.
180.
And you see the result.
Well, you mentioned the word recovery to describe Luke Humphreys' last leg. That second visit is exactly
58.
that for Danny Noppert, having posted a treble-less visit with his first in this leg.
I'm not sure I like that switch on dart 3. I think if he's going to be treble-less, I'd rather be on 3 or 4.
91.
Yeah, it's made it a little bit more difficult here. We'll start on the 19s. It does need a second treble,
99.
but doesn't get it. So Noppert has the luxury of not having to go for the bull if he finds 2 treble 20s.
Great second dart.
98.
Third one, not thrown brilliantly. So the leg isn't over yet. However,
57.
when you look at the situation, if Noppert hits this, it's going to have to be 2 straight legs for Humphreys if he wants his first PC win of the
Game
season,
shot.
which Danny is within 1 leg of, to keep that finals record perfect at 5 from 5.
60.
Tough to beat. Danny Noppert, every professional darts player knows that. And he might want to get it done here.
140.
Well, Humphreys has done exactly what Noppert did in the previous leg and only started with 60. Noppert here, 180, his next throw.
180.
Humphreys has mirrored it with a 7th max of the match.
Sometimes getting a lot of maxes still doesn't give you success.
97.
It's the maximums and the big scores he hits from here
44.
that count. It's only a half-dart lead after 9 darts for Humphreys, and Noppert is staring down a finish that will give him the title.
100.
First to a finish, he's going to get an opportunity to win it when he returns to the Oki.
95.
He wanted more than that, especially after the first dart. The chance is gone for now, but how low can he go? That's not bad at all.
Treble 18. And still can't get it. So a real chance now.
54.
Noppert should get at least one match dart. He gets 2 at his favourite double. That becomes 1 at double 10.
Game shot.
And Danny
match.
Noppert nails it.
Danny Noppert.
A 5-star performance for a 5th Players' Championship title and another final victory for Danny Noppert, who defeats the world #1 and world champion and maintains that incredible record of never being beaten in a Pro Tour final.
Incredible it is. What a really good stoic display from Danny Noppert. He went into that final as second favourite, but every now and again he just proves that he is so hard to beat.
Well, let's hear from the winner.
Yeah.
Danny Noppert, who defeats Luke Humphreys 8-6. He's talking to Dan Dawson.
Not that much what he does.
There you go, Danny. Just stand there.
Yeah.
Danny Noppert, congratulations. You have just beaten the world champion and world #1 to claim a 6th PDC title. Some battle that game, wasn't it?
Yeah, both struggling with few triples and doubles, and yeah, I took it all over the line, and yeah, I'm really happy with today. Yesterday, yeah, was a little bit less my performance, and yeah, today I was there on the right moments.
To be Luke Humphreys in the final, to be Gerwyn Price along the way. There was a big performance, I think, against Scott Williams, where you averaged 107. You looked really solid. Your game looks in a very good place at the moment.
Yeah, against Jim Williams, of course, it was also a really great game. Both of each other. He played 105 average. I did 106 average, and yeah, it was yeah, crazy games today, and yeah, I'm really proud of myself that I take it over the line today.
These are difficult to win. I know that we've got players are managing their schedules. Some are taking time off. This week in Leicester, everybody's here. All the top players are here. The whole of the top 32 are here, including you. And you've emerged. These are very difficult titles to win, especially when they're well attended, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. It's really tough every moment. And like last week at the European Tour, I played all above 100 average. So yeah, I believe I can do that every time. And yeah, I'm speechless a little bit, but yeah.
You've never lost one of these finals, Danny. I know you've lost finals in PDC darts, but you've played in 5 of these and won every single one.
But not on a Pro Tour. No.
Not on a, yeah. What happens to you when you get to the final?
Yeah. I'm speechless, but yeah, I'm always fighting, and that's what I can say. And yeah, like last week I played Luke, and he beat me really hard, and yeah, and now I beat him soft, but yeah, yeah, but I won, and that's most important, and it's a good feeling for myself, also for yeah, for the family and everything, and yeah, I do, yeah, a lot for darts, and yeah.
You were a heavy part of the World Series last year. You're going all over the world helping promote the game. You are the Dutch #2. You and Dirk are jumping around each other, but you are the #2 for the Netherlands. The popularity of this sport has grown massively over the last few months with what happened at the World Championship and Luke Littler and Luke Humphreys winning. You've got a big role to play over the next few years in this sport. I mean, do you think that, you know, next year Premier League?
Yeah,
or
but
more World Series this year?
It was a nice experience this year to go to Australia and go to New Zealand, of course, and yeah, we will see what happens. Yeah.
Big targets for the year then. You've got a title under your belt, an 8th different winner from 8 Players' Championship events, but loads of Euro Tour action coming up. It's Riesa next weekend and then Sindelfingen. You're going to be playing everything, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a major title in you this year, Danny?
Hopefully, like 2 years ago, of course, UK Open winner, and I have to defend a lot this year. Yeah, we go for it, and I believe in it. Then I can take another title, but yeah, I never go too fast. But yeah, sometimes I'm no words.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't have the words. It doesn't matter. He had the darts to win today. Our 8th different winner from 8 Players' Championship events. A 6th PDC title for Danny Noppert. 5 wins out of 5 in finals in these events, as well as the UK Open he picked up 2 years ago. We'll see you Thursday night. It'll be Birmingham for the Premier League, where Luke Humphries, our beaten finalist, will be looking to get back to the top of the table. Then it's Riesa on the European Tour this weekend, where Danny Noppert will be searching for a first Euro Tour title to add to the Players' Championship title he picked up today. We'll see you then. Well done, Danny.
Thank you very much.